TitleMatchNetwork.com.
Now, after you got divorced with Steve, you soon after that left WCW. Was that the reason, or?
It was weird. It was, we were separated then. I think that had something to do with it because Steve was still there. And Eric was so nice, he kept paying me.
I was going to ask you about your contract. Did that expire?
He kept paying me.
Wow.
He kept paying me, and but I like to perform. Well, I love to perform, and it wasn't really satisfying to me that I was getting a check. I know some people would say, "What? It's checking?"
Right.
No, I wanted to perform, and so I kept bugging WWE. Every 2 weeks, I would call them up for 4 months.
Wow.
You have anything for Debra? I call Vince's office. I would never talk to Vince. I get the secretary and then JR's secretary, and they're like, no. And then I would just, I'd feel so embarrassed. Sometimes I'd call up. And then I just finally, one day they called and they said, Debra, don't be shocked. We have something for you, finally.
Who called you back, JR? Or?
No, I think it was Bruce Pritchard.
Bruce Pritchard?
I think that's who it was. And I was like the big joke, like, oh gosh, Debra's calling again.
Right. So at this point in time, you didn't try to get back with WCW. You just wanted to move on and then pretty much put that past you and then go to WWE.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know what? Steve was at WCW, so I knew the reason why they wrote me out.
Right.
So, and I wanted him to stay there and do that, and then.
It would have been easier on you guys to just separate and go.
Yeah.
Separate ways.
Yeah.
Okay. How soon, I guess, was it that you landed a job in WWE? How many months did you sit out for?
I think I sat out for almost a year, didn't I? I think I did.
Wow.
For like 8 months, maybe. It was a while.
Okay. What were your initial impressions of Vince? Did they bring you up to the office for your first meeting, or usually they fly you in and give you the limo treatment?
No, they flew me in on Sunday in Chicago.
Right.
And I just walked in, and I was scared to death. But I remember that arena from working there with WCW and other things. I've been in that arena in Chicago at the Rosemont, I think it was.
Right.
And I knew everyone backstage, and I think Vince walked up and introduced himself. But I'd met him before. And then I was like, okay. They said, well, we don't know what we're going to do with you yet. But so I was just sort of standing around. I remember I met Chyna, and she snarled at me.
As far as just working you, or?
No, she was like.
Taking a spot type of deal, like.
She was like, oh, another blonde. That's what she told me later.
Right.
But I was scared of her at first.
What were your initial impressions of Vince?
No, just really nice to me, first class. But I always would get nervous around him. It's sort of like a principal.
Right.
And it's cool. I'm like, oh my God, he's like the owner, he's the man that owns this. So it'd make me, I'd become really shy sometimes when I get nervous.
Right.
Because I was very shy growing up, so when I get nervous now, I get shy.
I got you. Was it easy to make the deal with WWE as far as what you wanted, or did you have to pretty much...
I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, I'm going in thinking I'm this big businesswoman, and I have this NFL agent. A little did I know, no one told me this. I mean, I'm used to dealing like the way Stephen Michael would do his contract, and they're like, Deb, we're not talking to this NFL agent.
Yeah, they don't like agents.
No, and they're like, Debra, I tell you what, you're just, this is what we're offering you. Take it within 3 days. If not, it's off the table. But I'm like, I think I better take it.
What did they give you, a 3-year deal in the beginning? Or
3 years.
3 years, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the norm. I guess, how different was the dynamic in the WWE locker room as far as comparing to WCW?
Well, I think now I was taking this a little bit more seriously because I was taking care of myself.
Right.
And I never knew I was going to be so popular. I said, well, if I can just, keep a paycheck and keep in shape and look good and...
So you pretty much put your time into, maintaining the character outside of the ring too then?
Oh, when I was off from Queen Debra?
Right.
Oh, yeah, I worked out a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I worked out a lot and dieted, or not, I shouldn't say diet. I mean, changed my eating habits to a lot of protein and...
Right.
Because I know I have the good genetics on the legs, and I just really worked out 2 hours a day.
As far as the way the locker room was run, though, when you compare it to WCW's locker room, do you think that the WWE had a better, I guess, establishment as far as the way they,
I think it was a different era.
Right.
Because I remember the era at the WCW with Sensational Sherry and all that, and then I remember when they started bringing the Nitro Girls in, and I remember Sherry was not happy because it was changing, it was...
Those girls didn't pay their dues, or...
Yeah, it was changing. It wasn't the hard knocks.
Right.
It was so... Yeah, and I would say the WWF locker room, I really didn't pay a lot of attention because I was so into being... I knew, I just wanted to do what I had to do, not buddy up to anyone, and just do my job.
What were your initial impressions of the other women in the company at the time, besides Chyna? Who else was there when you first came in?
Jackie was there, but see, I knew Jackie from WCW.
Right.
So I always got on really well with her. Who else was there from W?
Tori Runnels? Was she there at the time?
Yeah. Got on good. Yeah, I always get along. Yeah.
Okay.
I just wish they had her hair.
Right.
It's not fair. She's got such pretty hair.
Were, I guess, any of the other girls helpful in WWE towards you as far as like maybe teaching the ropes? I mean, was there anything?
China.
Was there anything different that you had to do in WWE from WCW? Backstage,
Yeah, definitely.
or even in the ring. I mean,
I would say definitely China helped me with the wrestling.
what were some of the things that she helped you with?
But I never got to use it because I was more the cat fighter.
Right.
And slapping, and just just different moves. And I wish someone could have seen it. It was really pretty good.
So now your role in WWE was a lot more physical than in WCW.
Yes.
Did you like that?
Yeah, I did.
All right, cool.
And a lot more sexier.
Right.
I remember I didn't when they told me I had to be sexy, and again, I think that's, my real sassy side is a version of me, and the sexy side is a version, part of me, but it's an exaggerated version. So what I did was I got the Playboy channel.
Right.
And I watched it for a month.
Wow.
Because I had to learn. I was like, okay, let me see what it is that guys find attractive, sexy.
Right.
Because I can giggle too much sometimes. And so I was watching it, and I was watching how they move and what they wear, and then I copied it.
That's pretty good. Did Jeff Jarrett help you at all get in WWE? Because he was already in there at the time. Did he help you at all?
No, he told me I should go to WWE, but I was like, well, I should maybe check into it, and that's when I started calling him.